The world you wake up in every single day is not the world that actually exists. You think you understand reality because you see it, feel it, move through it, but what you experience is only a carefully filtered version of truth. A version edited, polished, and presented to you by systems that benefit when you don't ask questions. From the moment you were born, you were handed a script. What to believe, what to fear, what to admire, what to chase, and what to never think about. And you accepted that script because everyone around you accepted it too. But today, piece by piece, I want to pull back that script and show you proof that the world is not what you think it is, and that almost every part of your daily life is shaped by forces you never see. Think about how you form opinions. You believe you choose them, right? But what if I told you that before you ever formed a thought about success, beauty, morality, danger, or happiness, the world already planted seeds inside you? You see what media chooses to show, you hear what society decides to repeat, and your brain quietly, without your permission, starts building beliefs out of those patterns. That's why two people living in the same world can have completely different realities. Because reality isn't just what's out there. Reality is what your mind has been trained to notice. Millions of things are happening around you every second, but your brain allows you to see only a tiny fraction. You're not seeing the world, you're seeing a version of the world that your mind finds manageable. And the scariest part is that this filtered version feels completely normal. Look at human behavior. We like to think we're logical, rational, free thinkers, but history proves the opposite. We follow trends not because we understand them, but because we don't want to feel left out. We adopt opinions because they're popular, not because they're true. We buy things we don't need because someone convinced us our lives are incomplete without them. Advertisers, governments, corporations, they all know something about you that you rarely admit. You are predictable, and predictable people are easy to guide. You don't realize when you're being nudged, when you're being influenced, when your desires have been pre-selected. You just feel a sudden want, a sudden belief, a sudden fear, and you assume it came from you. But most of your choices are echoes of decisions made by invisible hands. Now think about time. You probably believe the present is stable, that the world you know has always been roughly the same. But the truth is that societies have collapsed overnight. Economies have shifted with one unexpected event, and powerful secrets have rewritten entire timelines. What you call normal life is incredibly fragile. Nations maintain the illusion of stability because panic is dangerous. That's why you never hear about how close the world gets to disaster financial collapses that almost happened, wars that were avoided by a single conversation, or scientific discoveries too destabilizing to reveal. You live inside a bubble of curated calm. But just beyond that bubble, the world is chaotic, unpredictable, and far more unstable than anyone tells you. And then there's perception, the way your senses trick you. You think your eyes show you truth, but they don't. Your eyes show you what your brain expects. That's why two people can witness the same event and describe completely different stories. Your brain doesn't record reality like a camera, it reconstructs it like a puzzle, filling in missing pieces with assumptions. You don't react to the world, you react to your interpretation of the world. And that interpretation is shaped by every memory, every fear, every bias, and every belief you carry. So when you say, "This is how the world is," what you really mean is, "This is how my brain decided to edit the world." Look at power structures. You're told the world is fair. Work hard, follow the rules, be good, and life will reward you. But reality exposes the opposite. The highest positions are often filled through connections, not merit. Opportunities flow to those already in power. Decisions affecting millions are made in rooms you will never enter by people whose names you will never hear. You think society is driven by logic and transparency, but is driven by influence and self-preservation. You're taught to admire success without seeing the machines that built it. You're taught to blame individuals for their failures without understanding the systems designed to keep them where they are. The world is not balanced, it is engineered. Even history, the story of humanity, is not what you think. You assume history is factual, objective, written with accuracy. But history is written by winners. It is rewritten, edited, and cleansed by those who benefit from certain narratives. Entire events disappear. Important figures are forgotten. Truth is simplified, distorted, or polished until it becomes mythology. What you learned in school was not the full story. It was the approved story, the version least likely to cause chaos, rebellion, or doubt. And when you build your identity on half-truths, you end up living inside an illusion without even knowing it. Technology has only made this illusion stronger. Social media shows you a world crafted by algorithms trained to control your attention. You don't see reality. You see the version of reality most likely to keep you scrolling. And while you scroll, your data is being collected, analyzed, and used to predict your next move. You're told this is convenience. But convenience is the word used when control needs a softer name. Your digital life is a blueprint of who you are, your fears, your weaknesses, your impulses, and somewhere, a machine knows you better than you know yourself. But despite all this manipulation, there's another truth. Human beings are capable of extraordinary awareness. Once you notice the cracks in the illusion, you start to see everything differently. You notice how advertisements shape desire, how headlines shape emotions, how culture shapes identity, how fear shapes obedience. You begin to recognize patterns that once seemed invisible. And when you recognize those patterns, you step outside the boundaries that society draws around you. You stop being influenced and start becoming aware. You stop believing everything you're shown and start questioning who benefits from your belief. The world may not be what you think, but that doesn't mean you're powerless. In fact, awareness is the greatest power you can gain. Because once you see the structure behind the reality, you're no longer controlled by it. You're no longer manipulated by trends or trapped by expectations. You start thinking independently, choosing deliberately, and understanding deeply. Most people live their entire lives without ever noticing the invisible walls around them. But the moment you see those walls, they lose their strength. And maybe that's the point. Maybe the world hides its true nature because very few people can handle the weight of understanding it. Maybe the illusion exists because reality, in its raw form, is too chaotic, too unpredictable, too uncomfortable. Or maybe the illusion exists simply because it makes those in power stronger. Whatever the reason, the truth remains. The world you think you know is only a small fragment of the truth that actually exists. And once you see through the illusion, life will never feel the same again. This is your reminder to stay curious, question everything, and never accept the world at face value. Because the deeper you look, the more you realize how much has been hidden from you. And the moment you begin to understand that, you start living in the real world, not the comfortable version you were trained to believe in. If you found this eye-opening or want more stories that reveal the hidden side of our world, make sure you like the video and subscribe for more interesting stories.